you say that the district commissioner will assist us in many of those cases. We take note, especially the drugs, and especially the areas where the drugs are sold. The last one is next to the school here, and also Satchfield, and all over. It means that there's a problem with drugs. And it is our job, firstly, to ensure that those drugs are removed. And the second question was about liquor, the shebeens. So all those is our job. All we need to do is to go to the police station. Maybe you don't know your station commander. This is your station commander. Who cannot divert. We will give his number. At the right time, we're going to give you his number. If you can't find the police, you must phone him during the night. At any time, you'll find him. Okay, you may have a seat. Now, in many of the things, now the question that was asked about when is your police station? When are you getting your police station? KwaNokuthula and apha eGongoria. As we speak, our town planners are here in Knysna with the municipality. As I'm standing here, they are somewhere with the engineers of the municipalities. They'll come from here, they'll go to Platte. I know that we got the land in Platte, but here I think there's a question of the land that we must find. But is a plan, a scenario is 2028, 29 to build a police station. Yeah. Uneven, eh? Okay. I'm saying a plan is to have a police station built in 2028-29 financial year. Apha eGongoria and KwaNokuthula. Those police stations, two of them, they'll be built at that time. Now, the question is, how long is this mobile police station going here? Is here permanently until we have a police station? Now, what we have now asked, and as I'm sitting here, is that perhaps we will look around. We don't have in Libadov having many resources, but we try to assist because the station itself, as far as our establishment is concerned, is full. Yes, it's short with manpower, as you say, but in terms of our own policies, it's fully given the personnel. But we look at this Concordia satellite, if we can steal somewhere, some or two or three to add, so that it continues for the rest of the time. But with the minister, we will be working on that. Now, somebody asked in Tembale too, when and where is the station commander? There is a station commander there. And there are some changes that we're working on. And I believe that there's a new station commander coming, starting on Monday there. So let us not, we are trying to ensure that we move people around. There will still be movement around the whole areas. Those who are in Platte, they might not stay in Platte forever, and those who are in Knysna might not stay in Knysna forever, or so anywhere else. So we are working around the clock. The issue around the FCS is here, Upunto. Yeah, around the training of our members at the CSC to take statements on the victims of rapes. I think we've been through that. But if there are complaints we must know who was at the charge office, because a child cannot be asked questions by any police officer. There are forensic social workers we have employed. They do that job. They go first and do all these things. If the child is too young, they use the lolly dolls and everything to get to the point before a statement is taken. But in any event, a first statement that is taken from a victim of rape, it's a first statement. But before the case goes to court, there could be 3 to 5 statements taken as the trauma, as a person gets out of the trauma, then another statement gets taken until that time that the prosecutors, but you see how Mr. Releng is going to answer, the prosecutors and everybody is ready to say we can take this case to court. Ms. Moske was a deputy provincial board and at once was a chairperson of the board. What is talking about this fully fledged police station, yes, but the issue of the upgrade of the police station of Knysna to be a fully a brigadier station, I think that Colonel Papiri has worked on it, and I think is still working again to look at the work study whether that station can be upgraded. But if we have a fully fledged station here in Gogoria, then there will be no need to upgrade that station, because the bulk of the crime comes from here. So we will still do that, but the study will tell us what to do. I'm talk about what we have. Then that Motishane, they talked about, you would then ask to you the children in the N2 that they are dropped by people staying in the bushes, but the municipality will talk about cutting the bushes. Mr. Vice, those 19-year-old and 15-year-old people that have been raped, I am sure those are there. We'll have to look into them, Colonel, that we go and look and follow those cases, because these are specific cases. And the issue of a detective who's been phoned and cannot come back, that one must be investigated by us. Because we give phones for that, we must respond. That is why I'm also going to leave my number here. But I'll be the last one to be phoned after you've called everybody. Because when you call me, some of you in Western Cape, you will call me 1 o'clock in the morning and you do me a video call because you want to show your friends that you can iman da errands. I've got also a wife at home. When that phone rings, she must wake up as well. And then please phone me for something that you need, not for showing your friends that you can the beer car and alles. We've talked about Renendal, yes. Renendal, there was a contact point. I don't know what happened to that sector manager that was sitting there when I was here. But maybe we should look at, again, having a sector manager sitting at Renendal. He was sitting at a clinic then in Renendal. I think he was a warrant officer. He was doing a rural safety. Yeah. So we can have that kind of situation that people can go and a day to have affidavits and everything that doesn't need us to come down to do at that area. I think, Deputy Minister, I've answered many of the questions that talk to us, but General Motishane will give him some small part, and neighborhood watches that needed jackets and other equipments. For Knysna, I think you said 56 jackets have been bought and other equipments. But there is a recruitment drive by the station to hand over those jackets when those people have fully been registered like as they normally have to be done. Those jackets, I believe they are here at the police station as we speak. Umastish, I think, is keeping them in a storeroom somewhere. So they are. Now, we are trying on our best. Deputy Minister and the Minister, they've given us money to assist the CPFs. And I think we ordered some for other stations. Some of the stations, they ordered vehicles, which we've given with those vehicles. They are waiting for them to be delivered. And some stations, they are looking for office equipment like your computer, and those are the things that we are working on. But the vehicles are for the station. The one question that Thembaletu asked that, can the station commander assist the neighborhood watches when they have got to go to work? The answer is yes. The station commanders that are sitting here, it is their responsibility to ensure that when you go to that place where you work, you don't work alone. There is a police van that is moving around, and that including to take you home when there's time that comes up. So we've said that. So if it's not happening, Mastish station commander is here, the district commissioner is here. Here is your district commissioner, Major General Motishane. He's going to give his number as well, so that all those things they get solved. I think TM, I'm going to request the next speaker. It's sometimes yours.
Good afternoon, DM, and everybody that is here today, and protocol observed. I just want to respond to some few questions and comments that were made here. But firstly, before I comment DM, I also want to reiterate on the fact that there was a comment about the shortage of, or maybe the non-visibility of youth crime prevention desk. We have a youth crime prevention desk. It is up and running and is very active. And we also have, like the provincial commissioner has already indicated, what we did in terms of the process is that we made an advert to every schools in the districts, and then the schools did enter the process, and there was a very tough debate that was done, and this is where we got our youth there that is sitting there, and I think we made the best choice because with the provincial appointments, then she wants to be the deputy provincial commissioner of detection. But in the district, she is a district commissioner. And I think for that, it is a step in the right direction, Deputy Minister. The one issue that was raised here, which I just want to deal with, it is the issue of the sector where the 6 sectors that we have. All the sectors are active, and they also have the contact numbers for those sectors. So I think for now what we can do is Colonel Divet is going to make it available to the people so that whenever they have a problem, they can just contact their sectors. Here at the station, the contact station, we also have a permanent sitting of members. Every shift is posting the members there in the CS, in the satellite contact station, and we also have a number there. So that number is going to be made available for the people to contact whenever there are some challenges. The issue of the children being robbed on the N2, I think is one issue that we are going to look at, because the N2 is a freeway. So being a freeway, there's also an overhead bridge which the people have to use it. So we don't know whether they are robbed on the bridge or they are robbed on the N2. But it's one thing that we are going to look at through Colonel Divet and the sector vehicle. But according to Colonel Divet, we did not receive any complaint with regard to that. And if there is any complaint with regard to that, I think it can be noted so that we can do a follow-up on that. The transportation for the neighborhood watch, and I think it is talking also to the Thembaletu police station, and which we do not see any problem with regard to that. We are going to look into that if it is not happening, but we are always in constant communication with the CPF there and the neighborhood watches. But that complaint, it was never brought to us. We also had a parade on Wednesday with the neighborhood watch. They were there and it was never raised, but we are going to look into that, Bahlali. Most of the stuff that were raised, I think the PC has dealt with, but the most important issue is the issue of constant engagement. As the station, having the crime awareness campaigns and then all the social crime prevention activities that are taking place, and I know that they are taking place, but it's just an issue of ensuring that they are being reinforced so that for the community also to be closer to the community, closer to the police. DM, I think most of the issues that were raised here, the operational stuff, it is more about engagement and constant communication with the community. I don't think it is not covered as such. Thank you.
Ndizawucacisa ngokufitshane kuthiwa
Program Director, allow me to greet the people of Concordia. Goeiedag. Molweni, good day. My surname is Redlinghuis. I'm standing in, I informed the Deputy Minister earlier this morning, I'm standing in on this shoulder is hanging because the Director of Public Prosecution of the Western Cape, Advocate Belg, is not here today. She asked me to stand in for her. This shoulder is also heavy loaded because our head of the cluster of the prosecutors, the Chief Prosecutor, Advocate Ngonyoti, is also not available to be here today. And they both apologize to the community of Concordia not to be here. I'm the Senior Public Prosecutor from George. I'm supervising the regional courts that is coming this side, Deputy, for 23 years already. I know this area. Currently, with me in this meeting is Mr. Johan Engelbrecht. He's sitting here in front. He's the control prosecutor of Naisna. And as I said, the chief from George, who stays in George, is not here. I'm standing in. But I also want to share a few things with you. There's always a good story to tell. There's always a good story to tell. Yes, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. No, anybody that sits here on this podium is not perfect. And not anyone in this audience is perfect. But there's always a good story to tell. The services that the National Prosecuting Authority is rendering in Naisna, there is the district courts, and then there's the regional courts that is visiting the town of Naisna coming from George. The regional court president, Advocate Spunisi, decided due to the high volumes of cases on the regional court rolls, she made one regional court roll permanently, and the magistrate there is acting regional court, Mr. He just read my mind. Mr. Shumi, that's right. And then the visiting magistrate also from George is Mrs. Jacobs, that is coming here, rendering service at Naisna, as well as from dealing with Plettenberg Bay previously and currently in George and Naisna, Thembalethu. What is the stance of the courts? What is happening at the courts itself? The regional courts here in Naisna is dealing with the murder matters, the rape matters, the trio crime matters. That includes your house robberies, your business robberies, your car hijackings, as well as your commercial crime matters where a single count is above 120,000 rand per count. As we stand here at this moment, currently on the regional court rolls for Naisna, there's 246 cases pending. For this year so far, our year starts 1st of April, we managed to finalize 50 cases. And we enrolled 69 new cases. Our average conviction rate currently for the regional court is 83%. That means the target in the regional court for conviction for the NPA as a measurement, it is 74%. So we quite well above the target on that. Lately, if you've read or you was present in the court about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, there was a person arrested and he was sentenced in the regional court. Now you must listen very well. There was 3 crimes that he was charged with. And each of the complainants was minors, young girls. The accused decided to rob both of them with a knife. That makes it robbery with aggravating circumstances. If that was not enough, he decided to rape the one girl. The accused in the Naisna Regional Court was convicted of all the charges. On count 1, robbery, he was sentenced to 12-year imprisonment. On count 2, he was sentenced 12 years imprisonment. And on count 3, the rape, he was sentenced to life imprisonment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what is happening. Nobody always read about this or go and sit in the courts and listen to what is happening. Things are happening. The operation is happening. I can keep you busy with the good stories of the sentences that was handed down in the regional court Naisna. 15 years for murders, 12 years for murder, 10 years minimum sentence for rape, and so I can go on. The district courts in Naisna, 1,537 cases was enrolled from 1st of April until now, the end of October. Currently, the outstanding roll is 863 matters. They have finalized already 852 matters for this whole year from 1st of April till now, with a conviction rate, listen to this, of 94%. How do we get there? The NPA on their own cannot do that. The NPA, we're not an organization on our own that can do all these things. It starts with you in the community that goes to the police station, that lay a charge. The charge is being investigated and a person has been apprehended and brought before the court. And eventually you come and testify in the court. And on the evidence that we present, the conviction is following. But ladies and gentlemen, please, there's one thing that bothers me a lot. And now you must listen very carefully, and we need your support. We need your support. The people who owns the spaza shops, who is from a foreign country, if they are robbed, and the time to come and testify, they disappear. So we withdraw all those cases. We cannot proceed in the courts in Knysna if the complainant from a spaza shop coming from a foreign country, when he must come and testify, disappears on the day of the trial. The magistrate refused further postponement, and we need to withdraw the cases. And they are soft targets. Hulle sagte teikens. The guy that robs them today will rob them tomorrow, will rob them the other day because they know. Hulle weet die mense word nie skuldig bevind nie, die sake word teruggetrek teen hulle. Are you with me on this? You as the community leaders, the councillors that sits here today must help us that we can address these cases, that we can bring down the crime rate, that we can send the prisoners, send them to prison. Furthermore, I am reading all the attempted murder dockets that comes in from Knysna down to Heidelberg, the mountains, the Outeniqua mountains, all cases where there are attempted murder cases involved. I'm deciding on that. I've got a colleague who's dealing with murder cases. He's liaising with me when we decide to proceed. We cannot, and now you must also listen very carefully. And I'm going to talk slow. If you see the crime takes place, as jy sien die misdaad word gepleeg, don't turn a blind eye when the police are coming to ask for your statement. Please, how must we prove our cases in court? When 50 people looked on, when a person is robbed or murdered, or they heard how a woman is screaming while she is raped. And when the police comes around, the police will tell you, nobody knows anything. But then, we see on social media, on the cell phone images that goes around, how a person was taking a video clip. Please, if you fear for your life, if you fear as a witness to come forward, at this moment, as we talk now, there's a person on our witness protection program coming from Knysna. You will be looked after. You will be taken away. Not even the prosecutor knows where that person is taken by the witness protection unit. If we want to consult with that witness, we do it by means of Teams. On the cell phone, on the laptop, we don't even know where that person is. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going into a festival season. Alcohol is going to be flowing freely. What did our president tell the male citizens of this country 2 weeks ago? You see, you don't read the news. You don't need reading the news. You must read news, become clever, get empowered. Instead of all die ander goedjies, wat TikTok and TikTok, what is this on? You know, read the news. Our president, in so many words, say that male person, although you married to a female person, you don't owe that person. There's no right for a male person to assault a female person. There's no right like that. If you want to fight, fight with a male person. Don't fight with your wife. Don't fight with the person. Don't fight with that person. Don't fight with that person that brought your children in life in pain. Don't fight with that person who's caring after your house, wat jou huis skoon maak. En ek praat nou met almal. Ek praat met my ook. That is the person that keeps the house clean, that keeps the children ready for school, that is doing the washing. Maar as die alcohol loop, when you take a toast, I don't know what is happening, something goes wrong. And I can tell you, I wish, and I'm going to end with that, on my table lies a police docket from Mossel Bay, where the boyfriend killed his girlfriend, not by a knife, nie met 'n panga nie, nie met 'n piksteel nie, met sy hande en sy voete. He jumped on her, he kicked her, and he hit her to death. You know how strong is a body, how strong a body can be. He managed to get that. If I show you those pictures, I believe some of our colleagues that sits here may also faint today. Jy gaan flou raak. Ons kan nie dit toelaat nie. Ons mag nie dit toelaat nie. I'm ending off. It's not only the police who can bring crime to an end. It's not only the police. You've got your neighborhood watches. You've got your neighborhood groups. I've said earlier, the eyes of the community. The eyes of the community. I've read yesterday evening, late night when I'm getting raak rustig, about the Wilderness Defense Force. I thought by myself, what is the Wilderness Defense Force? On my way here this morning, I saw them there at the Wilderness Beach. They were stopped there, was looking in their uniforms. I know about neighborhood watches. We must be careful what we or the neighborhood watches are empowering them with. When you hang over that biffy, that yellow biff, or you put on a head with a badge, you must be careful because why? To arrest a person is governed by this Criminal Procedure Act. The Criminal Procedure Act and the South African Police Act empowers the police to arrest people. The police can instruct a member of the public to assist him to arrest a person, then you must assist. But be careful to take law in your own hands and think the fact that you can now say, I'm a neighborhood watch member, I can kick down a door, I can stop a vehicle, get the people out. Yes, the Criminal Procedure Act entitles a member of the public to indeed do a public arrest. You can do that. The Criminal Procedure Act do authorize you. But please, neighborhood watchers, approach your local station commanders, approach your local prosecutors, in order to ensure what are the powers bestowed upon you to make an arrest. Don't do something good that you think you're doing good, and yet you end up in the back of the police van. We don't want that. Everything must be done in order. I'm ending off at the local court. At the local court, Tembaletu, George, Naisna, Plettenberg Bay, we've got court preparation officers. The NPA got court preparation officers, and they are doing what it says, court preparation officers. Our chief prosecutor, Mr. Nkonyoti, since November last year, in his cluster, we kicked off with a project that when a police docket comes in to the system, the prosecutor will add in, it is a gender-based violence crime. The prosecutor will give the names through to our court preparation officer. Where's our court preparation officer? He's one of our court preparation officers in Aisna. Yes, it is a male person. They are highly trained. They are highly trained. Quinette Shum is our female. They will make contact with the victim. Unfortunately, people is providing us with cell numbers. If you phone that number, goes over on voicemail. They make contact with those victims in gender-based violence, call them in, explain to them what they can do, and what they can do is to advise you to go for an interdict, a domestic violence interdict, a harassment interdict, to assist you with, beside the fact that they take you through the procedure of what is happening in the court. Communities, please reach out to them. They are there, that is their work. The court preparation officers. There's lots of other functions at the court that is done by the Department of Justice. Your family section, your maintenance, your interdicts. You can even go in divorce if you like so. Don't do that, it's not right. Hou maar uit meneer, met jou dame, maak vrede, kry die pastoor in, en jy weet, en kyk maar of ons die uitgesorteer kan kry. But there's lots of services that can provide. Program Director, Deputy Minister, thank you. I can go on. There's lots of other good stories also, but let me rather not take over. Thank you very much.
We'll go straight over to General Pinar.
Thank you, Program Director, the Deputy Minister, our Khoisan leader present, Executive District Mayor and of the district and the local municipality, and all protocol observed. We have very little time, so I'm trying to be very quick, but I want to respond to the question on the youth programs and specifically the drug-related programs for young people in schools, and I think the prevention programs. And I think that when we're passionate about what we do, we can go on all day, so I'm really not going to do that, but I just want to acknowledge that I think there's a lot to be said in this area. So when we're done, I'm not going to leave and we can continue to talk about this. Brigadier Matumbo, can you stand up for me for a moment, please? I just want colleagues to see where Brigadier Matumbo is. Oh, there she is. Right. Okay. Brigadier Matumbo is representing the SAPS on the Provincial Substance Abuse Forum. There is a provincial substance abuse forum in the Western Cape, and there should be, in the district municipality, in the local municipality, a local drug action committee. And those committees deal with the prevention and treatment of substance abuse and the supply, the reduction of the drug supply in an integrated manner. Because from the police side, we deal mainly with the people who supply illegal drugs, the illegal selling of alcohol. We deal with the taking away the supply of these substances that are negative in our community. But we need to look at the drug problem in a holistic manner, and that means we need to look at prevention and treatment, and drug prevention and drug education is a specialized field. Not everybody can do it. Most police members are not trained to do it. So you need people who are actually trained to do drug education, to work with families, to work with community leaders, to work with educators, to work in schools. So if this is clearly a problem in all our communities, so I think in this local municipality, in the district municipality, we need to actually get a team of people trained to be drug counselors, people who have got the skills and the training to go and do drug education for prevention purposes, be it with schools, be it in churches, be it in community groups, with youth groups. So as we mobilize our young people, and we've got a variety of youth programs in the police, into those youth programs, we should be feeding the drug education. I saw an excellent sports facility here. Sports programs should also be used to teach our young people about resilience and specifically give them drug education. So that's a really important aspect of the South African government's approach to dealing with substance abuse, is we take a public health approach. We want to deal with prevention and treatment for people who are addicted and not just deal with it as a law enforcement problem. Having said that, it is also a law enforcement problem, and as the police, we need to brighten our corner, as the councillor sang in the beginning. We need to do our job in a very consistent way. Shebeens must be closed. We must do what we need to do. But colleagues, let me let me leave you with that thought. I'm not going to run away when we're done, so we can continue to talk at the end of the Imbizo on this issue of drug prevention. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Goedemiddag. Molweni. Honorable Deputy Minister, who is my boss, the Provincial Commissioner of Western Cape, the Executive Mayors of Knysna, and all protocol observed. My name is Dikeledi Ntlatse. I'm the Executive Director of IPIT. And I know that people are wondering, what is IPIT? Independent Police Investigative Directorate. Policing the police. But before I talk about our mandate, I want us to give a round of applause to the police officers who are committed to service delivery. I also want us to give a round of applause to the neighborhood watchers, to the patrollers of the area. Now, who are we? IPIT. IPIT is a government department. IPIT is under the leadership of the Honorable Deputy Minister. Si police lama police. We are assisting the police management to root out corrupt elements within the police service. Those police officers who are corrupt, that you see on a day-to-day basis, using the state resources to carry out their unlawful activities. And I know they are here, and I know they are listening. And I know that they will be their spies who are going to tell them. I've listened to communities as they complain. One of the issues that has been raised on several occasions is around the drugs. Surely, if you are honest enough, drugs will never be in this community if there's effective policing. Ain't? Some of the police officers know these drug lords. You report these cases to the police officer. One gentleman stood and said, there's a captain. Even the provincial commissioner said, who is this captain? He's been reporting to this captain about this house where the kids will flock and buy drugs before they go to school. But nothing's been done. Now you ask yourself, what is the relationship of this police officer to this drug lord? Okay, I've heard you. We've listened to you. There's spaza shops by foreign nationals. They also sell drugs. The spaza shops, you see police officers going to Abo my friend. I guess they call them Abo my friends. They take what they call a protection fee, isn't it? But you are also there. I guess you are there as communities. Are you taking down the number plates of the van? Are you also looking at on the site it's written, it will write Naisna. Now, what are you doing with that information? So, these foreign nationals will continue to do the wrong things in your eyes for as long as you're not reporting the police officers who are involved in getting the protection fees. So please, Naisna community, stand up and talk to your station commander. And I know that there are also community apathy, where you report cases and then suddenly a docket disappears. And nobody's saying anything. There's no feedback on the docket. And you wonder what is going to happen. When you go and inquire, the docket is not there, or the policeman or the IO is not there, doesn't want to respond to your calls and all those things. And the next thing you see, the very same perpetrator is a friend to the very same police officer. But as well as communities, we have a challenge. Sometimes when you are arrested as community members, I can get arrested as well. It's not like you are not involved in these crimes. You resist. You don't want to hear anything. Every time police officers must push you back into the vents. And the next thing you want to run and open a counter assault. They do that, DM. They go there and then suddenly there's a case of assault. And there are those that are, social media, ne? It's very dangerous. Because then suddenly, this other part, when it happens, it's not being taken. But this one, where the police officer is trying to push in a person into a van, is the one that will appear on the social media. And people will be the first ones to go to the police station and open a case of assault. We see you, we watch you. Western Cape, this is prevalent. Now, I'm going to talk about torture. There are those that are being tortured to implicate some of the people. There are those that are being tortured to then admit to a crime. Now I want to talk about IPID. After all these scenarios that I've painted, who are we? We investigate death in police custody. People who die in police custody, people who go into a police custody who are wearing armor necklaces, who are wearing the shoelaces, and then suddenly a person has committed suicide, or for some reason the person is beaten by the police. We're investigating such cases. A person who's been killed by the police officers, and you go and report, nothing is happening. The police have an obligation to report those cases to us. Now, you also have an access to report to us directly if you are scared to go to the police station. We report pointing of firearm. Young police officers are excited, DM. It's really sad, I must say. Young police officers in taverns, in bad places, are pointing firearms, are fighting for girlfriends, are pointing firearms to other perpetrators, or they'll point firearms to anybody, and nothing's been said. They are trigger happy. We also investigate a rape by a police officer, whether in custody or at home or somewhere else, or if you are the girlfriend and you are scared to report to the police station, or he is covered by his friends, you come to us. We also investigate assault. Can you for once report assault GBH and not these minor assaults that you guys are reporting, and the next thing you don't want to continue with the case? It's a waste of state resources because we must then investigate. We also investigate torture. We also investigate corruption, that bribery at the spaza shops, the bribery when a case disappears, the bribery when a police officer wants to make sure that the case disappears at all. But what we've also picked up, the representative of NPA, is that some police officers who are implicated in cases are friends with the prosecutors. So suddenly the case disappears, the case is remanded forever and ever. And the police officer goes around threatening and say, you continue, nothing will happen to me. There is no super cop. We've got the provincial head who says, my door is open, come and report. We're also here. We listen to that. So, all these cases must be reported to IPIT. I want Mr. Liholo, who is the provincial head of IPIT, to stand up so that you can see him and follow him if you've got cases. We also have a tent outside where you can report your cases. But more than anything else, can communities stand up? Crime is happening in your environment. These are your kids who are involved. So please stand up. Let's start reporting this criminal. I thank you.
I would like to thank Mrs. Klaseng.
Okay, I am going to give you Mr. Luhulu's number. He's not going to sleep. We've got an office in George. The number of Ntate Luhulu is 082 896 8483. Please don't report SASSA matters in that number. We also have a toll-free number. It's Mr. Luholo. He's here. We've got a toll-free number. It's 0800 111 969. At any given time, it won't cost a cent to you. So you call us, give us your details, and we'll deal with the matter. I thank you.
I would like to say thank you to the Executive Director of IPIT, Mrs. J. Klaseng. We are about to call Lena Davids, the Chairperson of the Parole Board Southern Cape.
Thanks. Good afternoon. Are we still here? Good afternoon. Thank you, Program Director, Deputy Minister, and all protocol availed. I think many of you don't know the Parole Board. We only heard about the Parole Board, and I think the community only receive offenders from the Parole Board after they serve a certain portion of the sentence. But today I just want to touch on the Parole Board so that you can know who the Parole Board are. The Parole Board is a very small body in this Southern Cape, consists of only 5 people. It's a chairperson, a vice chairperson, 2 members of the community, and a member of the South African Police Services. Then there's also a secretary. Now, the secretary is the only person from the Department of Correctional Services. All the other people are from the community. So we serve the community. So if we place out an offender, it's not a correctional service who place out that offender. It's the Parole Board and the people from the community. They place out offenders. Now, while I'm talking, what are the Parole Board doing? How did they come to a certain decision? The Parole Board are assessed by the head of center, because the head of center sent a profile report to the parole board, and then we peruse that parole board, that profile report at the parole board. And after we peruse everything, taken a lot of aspects into consideration, we will come to a decision. So a decision of the parole board is not placement. So the parole board is not a placement body. It's a consideration body. Ons oorweeg, ons is die mense wat gevangenes vrylaat nie. So after a offender serves a certain portion of his sentence, and I will just stand still there, all offenders serving sentences of 2 years and longer, they must serve half of the sentence before they can be considered for placement on parole. Offenders serving sentences for life, they can be considered after 25 years. And the only person who can approve the placement of lifers is the Minister of Justice, not the parole board. But at the parole board, there are a lot of role players. And one of the role players are the victims. The parole board normally ask for representations from the victims. And then they give their input. And after that, the parole board will decide what they will do with this offender. So victims can do representations, and they can also be represented. They can come to the parole board and they can give their inputs at the parole board themselves. Then I want to talk about the family of the offender. You know, domestic violence, ne? Wat is het in Afrikaans nou weer? Ek is gesinsgeweld. Mr. Redeling, as you know, a lot of cases are withdrawn. Gesinsgeweld. A lot of cases refer to assault, it's aanranding. Hulle word net teruggetrek by die hof. En dan so 2 weke nadat die persoon vrygelaat het, bel hulle vir my, vrou meneer, het die man nie 'n saak gehad vir domestic geweld, hy is nou al weer terug. But the people who lay the charge are the people who don't turn up at the court or they withdrew the charges. That is what happened. And that is why the parole board have no option as to place that offender out again. Then I receive a lot of complaints from the community, and I receive a lot of complaints from the family members. Then the offender has been brought in. After a week, I receive a long letter. Die man moet nou maar uitkom, want hy is die broodwinner, he must come back, he's a breadwinner. You can't keep him there in prison anymore. And that's the same person who complained about this person. Because the community, you are the persons for your own destination. You are the people that made criminals be placed out anytime. So if you lay a case, if you lay a charge against a person for domestic violence or for assault, please turn up at court. As Mr. Riedelingers was saying, please turn up at court and please don't withdraw the charge against him. Don't do that. Then SAPS. There's a SAPS member on the parole board since last year. And Commissioner Patile, I just want to say thank you for that member that you sent to us. I think he is a very, very good guy. He bring his side, he came to the parole board, and he will tell this one cannot go out. We discussed it 2 or 3 weeks ago. I knew that a lot of CPF members or the CPF chairperson who signed the report and the station command who signed the report, every time when they sign it, they will say this offender can't be placed out. You can do it once, we will not place him out. But you can't do it thrice. And then the person will take us to court, as in the case of Oscar, and then the court will say, no man, why are you keeping this person here? So we also have just limited jurisdiction over the placement of offenders. But we can keep them longer. We can keep them in prison for a certain stage. And then another thing of parole. Parole is not a ticket that he is now a free person. He's not free. He is in the community under controlled and regulated circumstances. You will see community corrections officials, they will drive in the district or in the street and they will visit some of the houses. They are visiting the people that are on parole or correctional supervision. And now, if I'm talking about this subject for longer than half an hour, Commissioner, I just ask, just raise your hand because this topic that I'm not going to talk to you about, it will take about half an hour. People, the parole board are there for you. You can come, you can give your input. Breadwinner, and then he must be placed out again. So we are not a placement board, we are a consideration board, and I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davids. Let's invite Mr. Kun, Business Against Crime, to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. All protocol observed. Good day, Mr. Deputy Minister. I'm falling asleep there already. But it's not because I'm tired. It's not because you're boring. It's just that I'm very, I like to work on the ground. But I want to explain to you what Business Against Crime main focus is that we on a weekly basis or monthly basis have lots of meetings within the province because